Droid Nerd.
Welcome to this week's edition of DroidNerds.com weekly wrap-up. We do apologize for our 2-week delay / time off / unannounced not doing weekly wrap-up thing, but we are back now and love to see your comments from here on out and look forward to completing the news for you. As always, my name is Amanda Gray and let's get to the news. Motorola seems to be the lucky winners of Google's not-so-random drawing as who gets to premiere Android 3.0. On the Moto Pad, really all we know about this Moto Pad is the fact that it is going to be a 7-inch tablet and running Honeycomb, which is 3.0. Not to be confused with Gingerbread, which we now know to be 2.3. Other than that, I'll look to see it around the time of CES 2011 in January. That's the guess. We're not for sure on that. Just an assumption. But as always, you know we will be there and keeping you informed. Samsung this week has finally released the source code for the Galaxy Tab. This is very exciting news because now you can actually root your Galaxy Tab for real and not hack it, root it thing, because even though rooting is technically hacking it in the first place, we actually have the official word on how to do it. Which, if you are a Canadian customer of Rogers, you get multiple options on the Samsung Galaxy Tab. We found out now that Rogers will be doing it with no contract for $674.99, with a 1-year contract for $599, with a 2-year contract for $564.99, and a 3-year contract for $539.99. Not really sure why we're having 4 different options, but at least you guys have a lot of things to choose from, and hopefully something will work out for you. So if you think you can handle having it for 3 years and not getting anticipated about the next exciting new thing, which I know my ADD wouldn't let me do, you could save some extra money there. So that's an awesome thing to see. The LG Vortex was premiered this week on Verizon Wireless for the low price of $79.99 with a 2-year contract after rebate. This is a pretty sweet little entry-level device. It's got Swipe on it. It's got Android 2.2 or Froyo. It's got a 3.2-inch touchscreen display and a 3.2 megapixel camera with a flash. Definitely not the specs that everybody's going to be really super duper excited about, but if you're just looking for something for your significant other, maybe trying to push mom into an Android, this is definitely a great way to go without shelling out too much cash. Moving on, we also have seen that Eric Schmidt is prepared the Nexus S, or the Nexus 2, as some people like to call it. However, we are told by him that it is not the Nexus 2, it is the S, although he neither confirmed nor denied any real thing other than the fact that it'll be running on 2.3. This was at the Web 2.0 Summit, and we do have a video on our web blog there at droidnerds.com, and you can check it out and see this little device. He was more than happy to flash it around and show it off without saying anything specific. Google released Google Documents, an update to Google Documents, I should say, so that you can now do editing on the device. However, your device has to be running 2.2. Now, as we know, 2.2 only has a small amount of market share at this point. I'm believing it's right around 25%. It could be higher, could be a little less, but of course, the rest of us who don't have that 2.2 or Froyo on there are anxiously awaiting our updates from their prospective manufacturers so that we can edit those documents that we get through the email as well. This should be a good thing, and I didn't really get to play with it because my Android does not have 2.2. I know I'm kind of stuck in the back ages of 2.1, but it is what it is. NVIDIA's Tegra 2 processor is going to be the flagship processor for most tablets and manufacturers out there. We will be seeing this 2.2 processor at CES 2011. Like I said before, we will be there. On a little side note, in case you were wondering, yes, you'll have full coverage and should be showing off some great things that should come in Vegas. This Tegra 2 processor is primarily for tablets from manufacturers like LG, Acer, HTC, Toshiba, and Motorola are all using this processor. It's beating out a lot of the other companies that we've seen in the past, and hopefully should be swift for these new tablets to come in the spring. So when we're looking to see those. What else is coming out to this time? The Nook Color has finally been released by Barnes & Noble. The Nook before, as many of you may know, was a black and white only version. It took me a little bit of time to figure out that the Nook Color was a color screen. But, sometimes we're a little slow. That's what happens when you start doing work at 11 o'clock at night. This color is going to be Wi-Fi only and will not have 3G services. It will have a 7-inch display, and it is going to have Pandora and Facebook preloaded on it. It will not, however, support the Android marketplace, as the version of Android is a custom build. Barnes & Noble is putting out their own apps and marketplace. Should be interesting to see how that works. It's really a focus point to be a reader for different mediums such as newspapers, magazines, books, websites, all that good stuff, so you could still get online and do your thing, but primarily for reading nonetheless. Finally, we have the Droid Pro. It's finally available, woohoo! So you can get that bad boy from Verizon Wireless for the low, low price of $179.99 with a contract and a rebate, of course, like always. And you can see that one on our website, a nice picture of that. And that's pretty much everything we have this week. Oh, and don't forget that if you were looking for that Droid Pro and you thought you could pop your SIM card in there of a T-Mobile or an AT&T, you're not going to be able to do so because they did lock it and the Droid 2 global both to the network itself. So you can't use a stateside network for it, but you can use it overseas. And now you can actually use your Verizon service in other countries, which was something that they were really lacking on before, and AT&T sort of had a leg up on them. So red versus blue, you know who won. That's all we got this week. We will see you next time on DroidNerds.com's weekly wrap-up, and as always, you can get the best accessories for your device right on our website, and we look forward to seeing from you guys soon. Thank you.
Droid Nerds.